Y'all, the series finale for Stranger Things is complete garbage, okay? And I'm not hearing nobody out. At the end of the day, we have to go through the list of issues here. Number one is that we waited nearly a decade to see the Mind Flayer in full action and full effect, and he died in 2 minutes. And on top of that, they played this finale so safe that nobody died. I'm okay if you don't want to have a lot of deaths, that's great, but at least 1 or 2 poignant, emotional, and epic death scenes or some sacrifices, some type of flavor inside of this finale where most of it felt like filler. Eleven's ending is atrocious. They had a whole monologue with her and Hopper. It was beautiful, talking about how she never got a childhood and she can maybe one day live out, a life where she has children that get to live the life that she never did, things of that nature. And all you have her do is show up on a mountain at the end, and we don't even see what she's doing inside of wherever she's at. We don't even know if she's happy. We don't know what she's doing. How can you have the show end like this? That is your main character. And on top of that, with certain characters like Jonathan and Nancy and Rick, I guess Robin kind of has a little bit of, dialogue or scenes, shown as to what she's doing. But as for the other people and a lot of other characters I'm not even mentioning, we don't get to see active scenes of what their futures are going to look like in their lives. That is a problem. In the finale, we need to be seeing these things. We need to do show, don't tell. That's one of the biggest roles in film and TV is show, don't tell. And all we get is Steve showing up as a corporate stooge near the end of the episode. Are you kidding me, man? A corporate stooge for Hawkins. That's what Steve Harrington has been reduced to. It is an embarrassment. The only characters that got actual fitting and great endings, I'd say, for their characters are, I guess, Mike had a decent ending with what they were given, I guess, with this writing. Lumax was good, and Joyce and Hopper having their ending, I thought was fine. Everybody else, they either don't show enough, they don't give us enough, or the endings weren't epic or emotional or awesome enough or culminative enough, I guess, for the characters. And that's an embarrassment. Now, there were some great sequences here and there and some great moments, but after all the stuff that we saw leading up in this season to this final finale, like I said in my other video, I knew this finale was going to be mid at best. You can't have 7 mediocre and filler episodes when in reality, everything that happened from episode 1 to 7 in this series could have happened in 3 or 4 episodes at best. Everything we saw should have happened in volume 1 and we should have moved on from it, man. They wasted time and we ultimately got the finale that we got, which ended up being, in my opinion, a disaster. This finale was a disappointment, and it is a 5 out of 10 at best, and that is being generous.
So, do the Duffer Brothers know that their fandom is going to be responsible for creating time travel? Because every single one of us want to go back in time and prevent our younger selves from ever getting into this fucking show. Do they realize that they just lost all of their rewatch value? Literally all of it. Do they realize that? Did they realize that? I don't think they realize that.
Guys, I just watched the Stranger Things finale. I could have written a Bender ending with my eyes closed. I thought no one predicted it. They said that no one predicted the ending. That was the most predictable ending ever. Plan goes perfectly. They kill Vecna, kill the Mind Flayer, blow up the Upside Down. They escape. Elle gets away. Government doesn't get her. Happy ending for everybody. That was so disappointing. The only part of that finale that kind of had me like, ooh, is when they cut away when Steve almost fell, but then Jonathan caught him. I could put a prompt into ChatGPT and it would have given me a better ending. And I hate to say that. That was very disappointing. Very disappointing. Way too overhyped. I hate to be that guy. Don't come after me. That was very anticlimactic. And I love Stranger Things. Disappointed.
Stranger Things finale was so ass. Vecna dies in 1 fucking millisecond. Nobody dies. 11 sisters living up to 2 hours, when she's bleeding out the, stomach. What is going on? Hear me out. At least they tried, but I feel like they could have done way better. Come on. I don't know. I just feel like every season of Stranger Things I've ever watched, at least 2 main characters died. So it's kind of unbelievable in the finale nobody dies. I don't know. I just feel like the finale was so predictable. I was only really shocked when Vecna died in 1 second. He died a 1 tap. I was thinking oh, he's probably coming back or he's gonna make a comeback. I was so shocked when he didn't make a comeback. I was like, oh, he's actually dead. I thought Henry was gonna come back. I don't know. I thought a lot, but I guess I was wrong. But I just feel like they could have did a little bit better. I don't know. At least they tried, but I was like, oh, that's just... come on, Stranger Things. I kind of predicted that. Oh, you could have did better. I'm happy they let the season out, but come on, guys. We didn't even try in the season. Come on.
Stranger Things season finale was absolutely fucking terrible. Why in the first 40 minutes of the show, Vecna is already dead, and we have an hour after for some bullshit that nobody cares about? Are you serious? We could've had a bunch of fight scenes. What the fuck is going on? Vecna just looked like a little pussy, and he got beat in fucking 5 minutes. Are you serious? And then 11 dies for no reason I'm pissed about. And then the Byler fans, don't even get me started. Those motherfuckers are so goddamn annoying. That shit was never gonna happen. I'm so disappointed, but I'm still sad because I grew up with the show, I'm not gonna lie.
Y'all know I've been hypercritical of Stranger Things 5, but today is the finale, so this is me before I watched it. I'm gonna come back after I watch it. What did I just watch? It was good, for the most part. It was okay, but you're telling me it's been 5 in-world years for them, and they've been fighting the Upside Down and all this for 5 years, and they managed to defeat the big bad in a little under less than half of the episode. Right. And I was just on the edge of my seat because I was like, okay, obviously this isn't the end. Like, something's gonna happen. That was too easy. No, that was it. Anticlimactic for sure. Like, especially when they started making the Mind Flayer move, I was like, oh yeah, they're gonna get crushed. No. Right. At least Jonathan and Steve made up. I mean, and Jopper engaged. Okay. Lumax in game, as I knew it would be. Another fake out death. Right. And also, this is going to be the most death-filled season. 2 characters died. 1 side character from a season that most people don't even like, and this general guy that gets introduced to us this season. Right. Another fake out. Right. Okay. That's okay. Yeah, okay. Steve becoming a coach and a teacher, on brand. Dustin being valedictorian and going to college, also on brand. Violet and my 11 bones. Ooh. Like, I didn't even want Elle to die, first of all. But if she did, I wanted her to actually die. Like, I don't want her to be in some faraway place where they can never reach her, even if they know or have an inkling that she's alive. For the rest of their life, they know she exists and they can't reach out to her. That's possibly worse. That's possibly worse than her just being dead. There's a lot of good. There's a lot of mediocre. I have to say, that fan who came out with the theory that we were being Vecna the entire time and that's why scenes and stuff are missing, they should have had you on the team. They really should have. It wasn't that this ending was bad. It wasn't bad. It just wasn't as eventful as I hoped. I thought the battle would go on for longer, and from how strong they were talking up Vecna to be, I thought there would be more with that. I was hoping that people were wrong when they said there was like a 40-minute epilogue. There is a 40-minute epilogue. I'm conflicted. I might need to make another video when I'm done thinking about this. I don't know. Yeah, I really don't know. And like, even ships aside, just the ending, I don't know. I don't know. Okay, bye.
And that Mind Flayer was weak as hell. That Mind Flayer been built up to be this big bad motherfucker and won't stand in no shit. That Mind Flayer won't about a goddamn. It wakes up, all that stomping, bumping, grumping, growling, all that shit, and ain't catch one body. It ain't catch one motherfucking body that out of all them bodies that was there. You could have got an easy body, and you didn't get not one. You ain't do nothing but get yourself killed. They built up that Mind Flayer for 5 seasons, just for it to get killed in what, 5 minutes? 5 minutes, and all it took was, and this is another thing. How the hell did they get on top of that damn canyon so goddamn quick? To get on top of that canyon should have took them at least an hour. They got up there in about 5 minutes. That shit was, they said, yeah, let's go up there. Did y'all see how far away there was? And they got, that's besides the point. That's besides the point. Mind Flayer was weak, and on top of that, Vecna was weak as hell. Vecna supposed to be this big, strong motherfucker. And he said he loses to Elle with Elle's simple moves. Elle only know how to move you a little bit and break your neck. She's not that strong. So how is Vecna not stronger than Elle? That makes no sense to me. And how is the Mind Flayer not? They should have let the Mind Flayer come destroy a lot more shit. It should have destroyed a lot more shit. Caught some, I ain't gonna say catch some bodies, but it had to catch some bodies. You can't just go out. You wake up from your little whatever the fuck it was just to get killed immediately. Pissed me off. Because ain't no way y'all built it up like that for it to be weak like that.
Yeah, Vecna and the Flare, way too easy. Way too easy. Because, I'm sorry, you're throwing slingshots of slime. And apparently, he's defeated. He's defeated. Listen, that was rushed. That was shit. That was garbage. Okay. You can't fucking change my mind. I don't like the interpretive ending with Elle either. She's a main character of the fucking show. Okay. I'm going to need to know her whereabouts. Okay. Okay. I'm going to need to know her whereabouts. Is she alive or isn't she? Okay. I don't like the interpretive ending. I do like the nostalgic ending of them sitting around playing Dungeons and Dragons. I loved that. That was very on brand. It made me feel connect to the show again at that part. So I that part they did very well. But you know, guys, why isn't everybody mad at the military? Like, oh, fucking Linda Hamilton gets to fucking go home now after what happened to Elle. Like, you know, Hopper's like adjusted and okay. Like he lost another daughter. No, no, no. He doesn't just accept it. That's just not how he works. You know, you mean to tell me he didn't fucking, you know, no one fought for her after she died or didn't die? I don't fucking know, or whatever interpretive ending you want from that. I don't know. I don't know. Hopper cut his hair and it's clean cut again and is like, oh, you know, you just accept it. Okay, okay. Mike showed more emotion this episode than he has the whole entire series, which I greatly appreciated. But like, okay, where are Derek's parents? Where are Derek's parents? I will say, guys, I feel a little bad about Kali. Feel a little bad about Kali. Little bad. She wasn't a traitor after all. But Vecna was just too easy. It was too easy. Too easy. The flare, yeah, that shit was easy, guys. People like, no, what I liked about it was that he gave it his all. He didn't surrender. You know, he let it consume him. And what about it? He still got killed with an axe by Joyce. And rightfully so, go Joyce. But like, this ain't it, guys. This ain't it. And if you liked it, cool. Love what you love. But I did scream though when Steve fell off that tower. I thought he was a goner, so I screamed. I wasn't gonna be very happy. But guys, yeah, no, thank you.
For all the shit I've given Stranger Things Season 5, especially Volume 2, that finale was solid. Not perfect, not above criticism, but it worked in ways the rest of the season just didn't. Every major thread involved in the core cast actually landed, and that alone felt like a miracle after how scattered everything has been. There were definitely some underdeveloped plot lines, story beats that just vanished into thin air, and questions the show clearly had no interest in answering. But none of that stopped the episode from hitting me emotionally. Early in the episode, the stakes just didn't feel real enough because you knew nothing catastrophic had happened yet. The show still needed every major character in place, so the danger just felt more like set dressing than anything that could actually shift the outcome. But every now and then the episode would hit a moment of genuine emotion that cut through all of that. Jonathan saving Steve was one of them. Such a small beat, but it carried some genuine weight. That said, the episode was still guilty of the same issues that's been dragging this season down. Way too much dialogue, so many monologues. And sure, a lot of them mattered on a character level, but they killed the urgency. Every time the show built momentum, it paused to reflect. If the balance between emotion and movement had been tighter, the impact could have been massive. I really enjoyed the final battle with Vecna and the Mind Flare, but Vecna himself didn't put up enough of a fight. For a villain with years of build-up, his last stand felt too quick. But Joyce killing him was incredible. The memories flashing, the rage, the grief, all of it was brutal and cathartic. It worked, and Jamie Campbell Bower was fantastic the entire episode. I do have to call out one thing that pulled me out of the episode. When Lucas ends up saving the only black kid in the group being held captive, it felt unintentionally goofy. Like, of course they did that. The military subplot also went nowhere. It showed up, created tension, and then evaporated without adding anything meaningful. Another thread the show introduced, then shrugged at. And then there's the ending with 11. People are going to debate this forever, and that's fine, but for me, the ambiguity worked. The show gives you room to hold on to hope if that's what you want, but I read it as her dying. And the final moments with Mike were about honoring her, remembering her, understanding the weight of her life and what she carried. It felt honest and emotional without being manipulative. It wrecked me, honestly. But how you feel about that ending is entirely up to you.
Finished Stranger Things, the series finale. So I did cry. But I will say, I still think I was bummed out by the ending. Do you feel like a lot of things were rushed? This season really didn't live up to the standards of what every other season was. In general, the other seasons felt a lot more well thought out, delivered well, and this season just felt short in a lot of aspects where it felt like they were just trying to kill time. I'm upset. I was crying pretty hard.
What is wrong with me?
There was a lot that didn't explain. How did they get the kids out of the other realm? Another thing is, what happened after it was destroyed? The government just let them all go? I don't see that happening. Skipped over mourning Elle completely. Skipped ahead to the happy part. Weird. She was the main character of the entire series. No funeral, nothing. Just skipped to the happy part. At the end of the day, it just felt like a lot of time was wasted on the wrong things.
I'm sorry, you're telling me after all of these years of psychological torment, abuse, corruption, Elle doesn't even deserve to be surrounded with the people she loves? I mean, that's even if she's alive. We don't even know. But you're telling me she's fucked off to the north of, like, Scandinavia to live her life by herself, essentially. Oh, but wait, it gets worse because Hopper decides to propose to Joyce 18 months after his second daughter has died. And that's okay, people have moved on. The worst fucking finale I've seen in my life. And that's the creme de la creme. Don't even talk about the 2-minute fight scene with the gigantic eldritch being, the Mind Flayer. Not a singular scrape on any of the characters. Not a singular injury. No one died. No one died. How is that? Explain it to me. I have a new idea for a Stranger Things episode. It's called The Vanishing of the Duffer Brothers, because that's what they deserve.
Stranger Things finale, and Vecna, you have let me down for the last time. You have been in the show since season 4, and you haven't caught one main character body yet. We get that grace to young players, Vecna. You are pushing 50. I'll say though, for the first hour, 20 minutes of the show, the writers were cooking. The scene with Jane and Hopper talking to each other before the tank and whatever, and making the prompts, that was beautiful, right? But once the whole gang got to the radio tower and they faked out Steve's death, I knew Vecna was going to lose. Because I have not seen plot armor this strong for a group since maybe seasons 1 through 5 of Bleach. But the most surprising thing this whole season for me so far has been Callie not being a traitor and Tina not being black. But when they got to the Abyss, I'm thinking, okay, they're going to have to fight their way to get to Vecna. There's going to be some Demodogs or some Demobats. There wasn't a single opposition in sight, yo. They said this is the home world for the Demodogs and the Demobats. Not one was shown. But once they entered the world, Vecna started teeing up and he gave me false hope. When he had Hopper think he blicked down Jane, I said, yeah, that's the Vecna I know. When they was in the tunnel giving his backstory and he said the Mind Flayer was never in control, I'm doing this for the love of the game, I said, yeah, that's the Vecna I know. And then they cut to Hopper clearing out the military like he a trained Navy SEAL. This man is a police officer, yo. And when I thought they put down Callie, did I feel bad? No. Did I have a smile on my face? Absolutely. But then to cut back and see the Mind Flayer's final form is just a fighter, I said, okay, I'm rocking with it. And then Elle, who struggled to pick up a truck in the previous episode, picked up a boulder. Okay. And I thought, okay, they're going to catch at least one body and it's going to be my girl Nancy Wheeler. It's a shame, but it is what it is. Oh no, the mystery gang it's impossible to take out. An interdimensional enemy has nothing on the power of friendship. So after they defeat the Mind Flayer and Vecna, I thought it was a cool scene seeing all the flashbacks, all the pain he's caused them. And then to see my girl Elle sacrifice herself, the Purple Rain playing. Y'all get y'all 10s out of me. And then in the epilogue, yo, at the graduation, I was the happiest I've ever seen Will Byers to see some girls and they invited them to that party and they should have went. They could have changed that boy life. And to cut to the older group of them on the rooftop at the radio tower talking about the reunion, that was beautiful and stuff. And then cut to the core 4 or whatever 5 now playing D&D. That was good. And to learn Elle actually faked her own demise to give them a chance at a normal life, I'm not mad at it. I support it. But when they all kept saying, I believe, I believe, I believe, I thought Elle was going to pop back in like Naruto and be like, believe it. But the weird is just be having anybody kids in their house because what you mean you got Holly and her friends now, they in there playing D&D. Finale overall, I'll give it an 8.5 out of 10. I think they stuck the landing.
Well, at least we got a great performance from Jamie Campbell Bower. That was one of the most disappointing finales I have seen in a long time. I am not satisfied. And I know people are going to come on here and say, well, it's just because Byler didn't happen and you wanted that to happen. Genuinely, even if it had happened, I would still feel the same way about the finale. I walked out of that theater and was immediately able to create an enormous list of plot holes and inconsistencies and things that were built up that I guess just didn't matter. Where are all the Demogorgons, the Demodogs, the Demobats? They are completely absent in the Abyss and in the Upside Down, yet they are native to the Abyss. That is a plot hole. Why is Max not blind? She should be after season 4, and I thought that would be explained by the end of the finale, but it wasn't, so it's another plot hole. The first shadow play, which is supposed to be canon, clearly establishes that Joyce and Hopper know who Henry Creel is. I thought it was weird that wasn't mentioned earlier in the season, but I figured it would be by the end of the finale, but nope, just another plot hole. Also, what was the point of the first shadow play being canon? Because it was rendered essentially pointless by the finale. Because Henry, who is a victim in that story, doesn't get redeemed. And Patty, who is his love interest and pulled to the light, never shows up and is never mentioned. The Mind Flayer is an immensely powerful ancient entity. Why is it easier to defeat its ultimate form than it was to defeat its lesser Meat Flayer form in Starcourt Mall from season 3? That doesn't make sense. It made it feel like there were no stakes. The painting from season 4 was a major plot point. Why was that not brought up? Them not talking about the painting is so inconsistent with the past behavior of Mike and Will's characters. You're telling me Mike doesn't tell Eleven that he loves her in her final moments after what they went through in season 4? Their whole rift in season 4 was based around his inability to tell her that he loves her. Dr. Owens was still alive at the end of season 4 and he was a key player in the story of Stranger Things. Where's he at? That's a plot hole. What happened between Dustin and Susie? We never saw them break up on screen. Obviously they did, but we never saw it. That's a plot hole. The Upside Down was frozen in time from the moment it was created. Why? Good question. We're not going to answer that. Oh, but the snowball dance from the end of season 2 was reflected in the Upside Down, which contradicts the idea that it's frozen in time. That's a plot hole because they never explain it in the finale. We never learn why the Upside Down or the wormhole looks exactly like Hawkins when Eleven accidentally created it. Elle's new power, she's now able to bring someone into her mindscape and then bring them into somebody else's mindscape. How did she learn to do that? How did she develop that power? Never gets explained. We are never shown that. It's a plot contrivance and it's inconsistent with previous seasons. I'm all for new powers, but not showing how they get developed is bad writing. Apparently Robin and Vicky just broke up off screen going into the epilogue and the 18-month time jump. That's awful. Outside of the fact that they clearly sidelined the queer couples, Vicky was established to be Robin's person. What happened? It's bad writing and bad direction to not show us that. Birthday Gate and the fact that Joyce got Will's age wrong, just a coincidence. Melvald's malted milkshakes being mentioned in Will's coming out scene, also just a coincidence, just a slip up in the writing. Why was Will the one who was chosen to be taken in season 1? I guess we'll never know. And on that note, what was the point of Vecna using Will and giving Will powers or a connection to the hive mind? Because it wasn't even a part of his plan in the finale. November 6th ended up having no significance despite it being played up as a big deal. Taking out the Mind Flayer and taking out Vecna should have taken Will out, just based on the lore established by the show. Every time a demo gets lit on fire, Will also feels like he's getting lit on fire, so what happened to that? That's a huge plot hole. Hopper gets attacked by Vecna, but unlike everyone else who's ever been attacked by Vecna, Hopper is not in a trance. Make that make sense. The list goes on and on and on. Trust me, there is more to mention. Genuinely, if you're able to ignore those things and enjoy the finale, I am happy for you, but that isn't me. There are far too many plot holes and inconsistencies for this to be good writing. And all of that is without even touching on Byler, which is something I will talk about in some more organized professional videos coming soon, where I will also elaborate further on all of the things I've mentioned so far in this video and others that I haven't mentioned. But those are just my opinions. I'll have more videos about the finale and the show overall coming very soon. Kendall and I will be filming a podcast on the finale coming very soon. And it's been a wild ride. It's been a special journey. I'm grateful for all of you who've stuck with me this entire time, watching all of my theories and engaging with what I have to say. I wish I could be more positive right now, but let me know what you thought about the finale. I'm curious to see what other people thought. And again, more videos coming soon.